In October 1989, 43 women around the world gave birth. None of these women had been pregnant when the day first began.
How much do you want for it? I have adopted 6 children, gifted with abilities far beyond the ordinary. I give you the Umbrella Academy.
So first of all, thanks for making this brilliant show. I really, really enjoyed it.
Oh, great.
And first of all, the scope of this project is huge. I mean, the one in the right mind would not be near this project, and yet here we are. So when was the point that you said, okay, you know what, scratch that, let's do this?
Early on, the Netflix wanted to make this project, and when I was brought into it, I thought it was a really brilliant idea. It was something that was very different than what was out there, and I had a vision, and we thought big. We went big with it, and it turned out to be a sort of this wonderful 10-hour cinematic movie.
Go big or go home, right?
Go big or go home. That's right.
All right, guys, thanks for having me.
Thanks for having us, man.
Really enjoying the show, and as far as I continued watching, I really, really do like it, and I haven't finished it because it's just, they gave us 7 only. Looking forward to the rest of the ones.
That's a bit of a weird number to give you, isn't it?
Yeah, 7.
I might as well give you the other 3, you know, if we're giving you 7.
Well, yeah,
I'm kind of offended, but I need
They're
to
like,
go on
oh,
with
they
it.
don't want you to know how it ends.
Exactly.
You go
So
blabbing it around Turkey.
But they didn't tell you that it's a 7-episode season. They didn't tell you that.
Yeah. It's like Sopranos, it just ends weird.
Yeah, I don't know where you're like, what?
What?
Lost was the runner-up on that one.
Why, what did Lost, how did that end?
It had a horrible ending.
Yeah, that this Bible ending, that everything was related to God and all.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
And
Well, you know, as a fan of Jesus, I'm...
Does anyone wish to speak?
He was a monster.
Everything about our family is insane. It always has been.
Is that my skirt?
Oh, yeah, this. It's very breathy on the bits.
Nice to see nothing's changed.
All of these superhero characters are born in a way very similar to baby Jesus. And that's interesting, yeah. No,
Immaculate Conception.
Yeah.
Truly.
If we could go back in time and, with all due respect, change baby Jesus with Umbrella Academy, how would the world would be today?
Oh,
With all due respect.
The responsibility of that question.
Yes, it has to be answered very carefully, this one.
So instead of one Jesus, there'd be 40-something.
Like a whole bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it would all depend on the powers that they all have. I mean, Jesus kind of encompasses all of them because of he is like the Almighty, isn't he? So
I think religion would be very different.
Totally, yeah. Yeah, would there be a religion about all these different children that became, you know, all over, you know, they'd all have their own religions, and they would now be the religions of the world.
Oh, this is crazy.
Yeah, imagine that.
Now we have like couple, and this is the world now. So imagine 40 religions.
40 religions.
Yeah.
I mean, how many religions are there? I don't even know how many.
Like 40 deities, like 40 individual
religions.
Because there's like, you know,
depends where they were born in the world.
The major ones
and
are
what.
3.
There's like 70 million
ones.
branches based off of one
Off
person.
of one, yeah. That's all branched out
Oh
from
my
that
god.
first. Yeah.
That's too much
Mind
to
is
think
blown.
about.
So I basically trashed my interview with one question, right? So I have 2 minutes to go.
That's like a deep
Right
question.
off the gate.
Baby Jesus.
So like if the Bible, if like let's say Diego was born instead of Jesus.
Yeah.
I think, you know, a lot of people would have got stabbed back in the day.
Yeah, I don't know, or if Klaus would have been born instead of Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean,
He probably would have made love to some of them donkeys.
There probably wouldn't be no
Just for
hell
the
or
laugh.
heaven. It'd just be like one big, massive orgy. You know?
That does sound better than the world of today, though.
Yeah.
It does.
You know, if that's what purgatory is, I don't want to even meet St. Peter.
If instead of us having Jesus Christ, we had
respectfully, yes,
Klaus and Luther, I would imagine the world would be a lot worse place because of Jesus' teachings being so impactful to people. But we'd have a lot more superpowers too in the world. So So you kind of got a balance between the teachings of Jesus or superpowers.
I'd say if the Umbrella Academy was to replace Christ, we'd be in trouble. I think that man cannot handle that much power, and the way Christ taught us to handle it is in a balanced way. So it would just be out of control. It would be very, very bad, and I would never do that.
So we should stick to baby Jesus then.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll stick with, yeah.
And I really like the subtext of the characters, like when, being a superhero is a bitch in this one, because one who could talk to dead actually wants to die rapidly. Yeah. And the one who's has no talent is becoming a virtuoso. And the one who actually tells people to do what to do is becoming an actress. So what's with this reverse psychology thing? How did you write this behavioral thing?
Well, I think it's sort of, we wanted to play, and it's sort of maybe started by Gerard first, that he gave them powers that sort of played antagonistically often against who they really were. So in other words, Klaus, can summon the dead, but he's terrified of the dead. And that leads him to addiction because of that. He's scared of his own power. So that's the kind of thing which made for great storytelling.
I think it goes back to their childhood and how they were raised, and that they were, basically collected by their father and not given names and raised to
just do jobs.
Just to do jobs
just to work.
Based off of their specific powers. So I think, and they didn't have a choice. And I think Klaus grew up being afraid of his power. He was really horrified of it. And that's crazy. To be a kid and to be able to commune with the dead is insane. So like to be 4 years old and be visited by ghosts of people that have passed on is
and died in like really violent ways.
And they
stuff,
visit you in that state is, so I think he never loved it. So then I think you grow up hating your power and not wanting to be any part of it.
Yeah, you resent it.
Yeah.
You resent your upbringing, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what makes the show unique, is the folks who have powers don't necessarily use them for good. Mm-hmm. And how they use their powers is exactly how we tell who they are. And that, I think, is an example of good writing, when your characters are making the choices and not the plot. In their case, in Hazel and Cha-Cha's case, they use time travel, but not for good. It's not... It's not altruistic. It's for work. It's sort of a cool and honest way of looking at, the world's not that black and white. If you have a skill set, you don't always use it for magnanimity.
Yeah, I agree. The first thing humans would do is use it for an escape or to get out of something, and it's not necessarily the right thing to do. That's why, back to baby Jesus, we can't handle that much power, because if we get it, we're going to use it to go rob a bank. We're going to use it to go do something. We're going to use it to get revenge on someone, because it's human instinct.
You'll get bored of robbing banks at one point, though.
I mean, and you'll get bored of that, and you'll move on to something else. So if you have that much power, humans cannot handle that much power.
It was really nice.
And the Umbrella Academy shows that, like, they can't. They don't even. They can barely handle the powers they have. You know, as humans, that's what's so beautiful about this show. It's just very
honest.
Yeah, it's honest. Yeah.
I jumped forward and got stuck in the future. Do you know what I found? Absolutely nothing.
When's it supposed to happen?
In 8 days.
Oh, shit.
Ground. There's someone out there who's trying to stop me from preventing the apocalypse.
We need the full force of the Academy.
Bingo.
Yay, sisters. Yay, sisters.
How about the world was really ending in 8 days and you have no superpower whatsoever? What would you do? What would be your bucket list?
You first.
I mean, I would just want to be with my wife, and I just would, my greatest concern would just be to be with the people that I love, I think, so.
But if you are here, I don't think the planes are going to work.
I see. Okay.
So
this is the degree that we're going.
Yeah. I wouldn't actually recommend flying. I don't think they're going to be operating.
What are you going to do? You're going to hang with me then,
I
right?
guess you and I would go downstairs to the bar.
And just have a couple cocktails until we fell down.
Yeah. I don't know. What do? You probably, if crazy stuff was happening and there was, I guess you'd do what you could to help to the end, and...
I'd go to the bar.
And Steve will go to the
And I'll go to the bar.
Yeah.
Well, I'd probably, what would I do that's sort of allowable to say on television?
Yeah.
You already said donkey sex and also.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's go with that then.
Yeah.
I'd probably just go hang out with my mum and dad and stuff. Be like, all right, might as well hang out with you since you brought me into the world. I might as well just hang out with yous until it ends.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Probably go and hang out with my family and.
Although it'd be tricky to get home, if the
Yeah, 'cause
apocalypse
then
is in
people
8
would be
days,
running
you couldn't get a
around.
flight. You couldn't get a flight home.
But also, I'm probably gonna message a lot of people right now just thinking about this question, and I might get married next week just by the setting of this world.
Really?
Hell yeah, man.
Or another option, 2 words for you: opium orgy.
Opium farms.
Forced pleasure farm.
Man,
That's
this
right.
has been good.
Yeah.
Thank
something
you,
like that.
man.
Yeah, like the previous ones, they also had going with the family, doing some not so much fun stuff.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I want to keep the family and the opium orgy separate.
you have 8 days.
The worst
so-
way to ruin an orgy is to bump into your own mum.
So you want to do 5 and 3, and 1 day of recovery.
Yeah. Just come home to the family's house
The
at the end.
day you're gonna die, you're just gonna by yourself. I just want to be alone in bed.
Why couldn't you not come home hungover?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'd say I'd skydive.
Would you?
Yeah.
You can do it now.
Yeah, well, if it was 8 days from today, I would
You're like,
skydiving
oh,
is
gotta
on
fit
my
that
list
in.
before I die. But if I had 8 days, I'd skydive, and then I think I would just spend as much time with my family as I
Yeah, I was
could.
gonna say I'd just be with my family. Yeah, and
Yeah.
be with people I want to be with.
Yeah.
More than anything, because
Oh, that's such a scary
experiences, like for me, it's like I could go and do those things, but actually, what really matters is family and the people you
And
care about,
skydiving.
and also skydiving apparently.
And if you actually was assigned to, like, you can just pick up one superpower, what would you pick?
I think walking on water would be a good one. I think Jesus had the right idea. He was there, doing the bullet, doing the old, doing the running man on the
the
Dead
moonwalk.
Sea.
The moonwalk. If we're sticking to biblical stuff, I would say turning water into wine. That would be a great business.
Yeah, turning loaves into fish, or loaves and fishes into more loaves and fishes.
That'd be great.
Or turning loaves and fishes into Pop-Tarts or into Cliff
Twinkies.
Bars or something. Yeah, Twinkies.
And also walking on water.
Yeah,
at the same time.
That's great. Then turning the water into wine. So you're actually walking on wine.
And going, Mom, you didn't conceive me immaculately. Stop lying.
Yeah. You're not a virgin.
You're just protecting yourself,
you whore.
from getting stoned in the town square.
And what if you had number 5's talent and you could just go back in time and you can just go to one single event to fix the world situation right now, just one single event, what would it be?
How do you? Here's what. Now I'm gonna get specific on this. How would you? I don't get how you'd prevent it. How do I think I would just show up at a specific time and magically prevent it from happening?
Well, in my
Are you saying if I knew I had the I don't know. You go. I don't.
It's too deep. So who would I stop? Where would I go? That's a tough one. It's a really tough question. I don't know what I do.
Because if you do kidnap baby Hitler,
yeah,
that'll be something. But you could also go back way beyond and maybe deal with religion or something.
Yeah, you could stop. You could stop the genocide of indigenous people.
That's a good one. That's a great one.
And then what came of religion through that and how that impacted people.
It's a good one. I'm going to stick with that one too. Can I stick with
Okay.
that one?
Yeah, you
can I
can
share
stick
that
with
one?
that one.
Okay,
Share
good.
that one.
That's
a big one.
These are big questions.
Because it depends on that whole butterfly effect has so many consequences. I think we've learned from almost every time traveling movie, if you go back and change a singular thing,
Scratch that.
Scratch the butterfly effect. But that's all about time travel, isn't it? Butterfly effect. It's quite dangerous to forget that. But I would, if it would, it's hard to say what would fix it. But I would say something like the Holocaust. I would
I was
stop
just
Hitler.
gonna say. I was like, I feel like Hitler could probably.
He can go.
He can go.
Get up. We're going.
Where?
Save the world.
Oh, is that all?